Deep in the forest, Yasha wandered, her heart heavy with despair. Just as she was about to lose hope, she encountered an old woman, Eshe, a wise and powerful witch who had been watching Yasha's plight from her magical pot. Back in the village, a great celebration was underway in the lush and mysterious land of Zawadi, nestled between ancient mountains and dense forests. The village had been blessed with a bountiful harvest, and the people danced under the stars, their hearts lit with joy. Among them was Yasha, a young woman known for her kindness and gentle spirit. Her laughter was like music, bringing warmth to all who heard it. Yet, unknown to her, a storm of betrayal and injustice was about to shatter her peaceful life. The next morning, the village woke to find their crops withering, animals falling ill, and an ominous darkness hanging over the land. Fear and suspicion spread like wildfire, and soon whispers of witchcraft filled the air. Desperate for answers, the village elders consulted an old oracle who pointed a trembling finger at Yasha, accusing her of casting a curse upon the land. Shocked and confused, Yasha pleaded her innocence, but her protests were drowned out by the villagers' cries for justice. With heavy hearts, the king, after much deliberation with the council of elders, decreed that Yasha should be banished from the land, believing it to be the only way to lift the curse. Bound and alone, she was led to the edge of the forest and left to fend for herself. The villagers watched her go with a mix of sorrow and relief, never imagining the injustice they had wrought upon the innocent girl. Deep in the forest, Yasha wandered, her heart heavy with despair. The thick trees seemed to close in on her, and the strange sounds of the night filled her with dread. Just as she was about to lose hope, she encountered an old woman, cloaked in tattered robes, her eyes gleaming with a knowing light. This was Eshe, a wise and powerful witch who had been watching Yasha's plight from her magical pot. Eshe took Yasha under her wing, teaching her the ancient ways of the forest and the secrets of nature's magic. As Yasha's knowledge grew, so did her strength and resolve. She vowed to find the true source of the curse and clear her name, determined to return to the village and restore her honor. One night, as Yasha and Eshe sat by the fire, the old witch said, "Yasha, today I want to tell you a story about Zawadi, your village. You see, there once lived a gifted healer named Kabiru. His talents in the mystical arts were unparalleled, and his ability to commune with the spirits made him a revered figure in the community. Yet, despite his contributions and wisdom, Kabiru harbored a secret sorrow, a profound love for a woman named Amara, who had captivated his heart since their childhood. Amara was a village radiant beauty, known for her kindness and gentle demeanor. Her laughter was like the tinkling of a bell, and her smile could brighten even the darkest of days. Kabiru, with his shy and introspective nature, had never found the courage to confess his feelings to her, fearing that his deep affection would remain unreciprocated. One fateful day, a neighboring village sent a delegation to Zawadi, bearing gifts and proposing an alliance through marriage. Amara, to Kabiru's despair, was chosen as the bride for the chief's son. The entire village celebrated the union, but Kabiru's heart was heavy with grief. His love for Amara had blossomed over the years, and the thought of losing her to another tore his very soul. In a cruel twist of fate, a series of misfortunes began to plague the village. Crops failed, livestock perished, and a strange illness swept through the community. Fear and panic gripped the villagers, who sought a scapegoat to blame for their suffering. A rival healer, envious of Kabiru's influence and jealous of his talents, seized the opportunity to turn the villagers against him. She accused Kabiru of using his magic for malevolent purposes, claiming that he had cursed the land out of jealousy for Amara's betrothal. Despite his innocence, the villagers, blinded by fear and desperation, believed the lies. They confronted Kabiru, their eyes filled with suspicion and anger. The betrayal of those he had once called friends was a dagger to his heart, and his pleas of innocence fell on deaf ears. With their minds clouded by fear, the villagers exiled Kabiru from Zawadi, stripping him of his home and his place in the community. Cast out and consumed by grief, Kabiru wandered the wilderness, his heart a maelstrom of sorrow and anger. The betrayal he had suffered festered within him, turning his once gentle spirit into a vessel of vengeance. He retreated to a remote cave where he delved deeper into the dark arts, seeking the power to extract retribution on those who had wronged him. Years passed, and Kabiru, now a powerful sorcerer, emerged from his solitude with a heart hardened by bitterness. His love for Amara had twisted into a dark obsession, and his grief had morphed into a burning desire for revenge. He returned to Zawadi under the cover of night, his soul sitting with the intent to make the villagers pay for their betrayal. With a heart full of vengeance, Kabiru cast a powerful curse upon the land of Zawadi. The curse was insidious, designed to bring suffering and despair to those who had turned against him. Crops withered, the earth turned barren, and a pervasive darkness settled over the village. The villagers, once joyful and prosperous, now lived in fear and misery, unaware of the true source of their torment. The curse had a cruel twist. It could only be broken by anybody who had been wrongfully accused and exiled by the villagers. On hearing this, Yasha quickly realized that only she could break the curse, because she too had been wrongly accused. The next day, Yasha set out to find the sorcerer and confront him. Her journey took her through treacherous swamps, over towering mountains, and into the depths of ancient caves where shadows whispered of long-forgotten secrets. After many trials, Yasha finally stood before the sorcerer, his eyes burning with malice and anger. He mocked her, delighting in the suffering he had caused. But Yasha, with her newfound wisdom and the witch's teachings, saw through his facade. She challenged him to lift the curse and face his own demons. In a climatic confrontation, Yasha's compassion and determination pierced the darkness that had consumed Kabiru. She challenged him to see beyond his hatred and recognize the innocence that had been wrongfully condemned, just as he had been. Her words, filled with a gentle yet powerful truth, reached the remnants of the man Kabiru once was, stirring memories of his lost love and betrayal he had suffered. In a moment of clarity, Kabiru saw the pain he had inflicted on his own people and the darkness that had consumed him. He realized that vengeance had only perpetuated the circle of suffering and that the path to redemption lay in forgiveness and reconciliation. With a heavy heart, he lifted the curse, freeing the village from its torment and allowing himself to find peace. The village of Zawadi, now free from the curse, began to heal and rebuild. The people, having learned the lessons of compassion and justice, welcomed Nyasha back with open arms, honoring her as the savior who had broken the spell. Kabiru, his heart cleansed of bitterness, returned to his solitary life, finding solace in the quiet corners of the forest, where he could reflect on his journey and seek forgiveness from his past deeds. Nyasha's tale of courage and compassion became a beacon of hope and a reminder of the power of truth and justice. Her legacy, intertwined with the story of Kabiru's redemption, echoed through the ages, a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit and the possibility of healing even the deepest wounds. In the end, Zawadi emerged stronger and wiser, a village united by the shared experience of suffering and redemption. The memory of Kabiru and the lessons learned from his curse served as a guiding light, ensuring that the people would never again succumb to fear and prejudice, and that justice and compassion would always prevail.